Hello and welcome to Queensland Weekender for another Saturday, where I am heading out to the Great Barrier Reef on a trip like no other before. That's because I have packed an overnight bag. Yep, I'm going to be spending the night under the stars, floating above the reef. So while we head out there, this is what else we've got on today's show. Coming up.
To explore a hidden side of Noosa, you're going to need one of these.
Kip is scaling a Brisbane icon.
It's nice, but it's really high.
And a barrier reef experience without the crowds. Say goodbye to all the tourists, only a lucky few get to spend the night on the Great Barrier Reef. But first up, here's Jess.
There's a lot of pressure to plan for retirement, but don't worry, I've got that sorted. I'm not talking serious business like superannuation. I'm talking about how I'm going to spend that time. And this, my friends, is my future. Despite not yet meeting the age requirement, I have managed to talk my way onto a fun over 50 tour. The Brisbane-based company specialises in tours for the young at heart with a keen sense of adventure. And as the name would suggest, the focus is always on fun. They say the troublemakers are at the back, and I think this is proof. The rat bags are at the back. There's 56 tours to choose from, including coach, rail and cruising options. And I'm joining up with the tour group in Airlie Beach, who are already halfway through their Grand Queensland Coast and Island Affair tour. The crew, which on this tour includes Coach Captain Laurie and hostess Anne, are well and truly committed to ensuring everyone has a fabulous time. Anyone thinking about going on a tour like this, why do you encourage them to get on board? Pardon the pun.
Well, it's generally a good group atmosphere that we have, and we like to take people to places where we find exciting that we can share with them.
I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with your wheels. She's a beauty.
Oh, yes. We love Alvarita. She's our golden beauty.
The gorgeous Golden Lady takes passengers to their destinations in gold-class comfort. From Airlie Beach, our tour heads north to Mission Beach. Accommodation here is the truly lovely Castaways Resort and Spa. And as is plain to see, the Fun Over 50 crew ensure guests receive only the very best. And this is your 65th tour. What brings you back time and time and again? Why do you love this?
Well, I just love my job, and I love taking groups all around this beautiful country. Nothing pleases me more than to be tapped on the shoulder, turn around, and there's someone who's toured with me before standing me. It's just wonderful.
Come with me, mate.
All transport, accommodation, food, transfers and tours are included. And this morning we're heading off on a commercial cocoa tree plantation tour.
All right, what you're seeing here today, guys, is a world first. Cocoa has never, ever been grown on a trellis before anywhere in the world. The reason we grow cocoa on trellis here in far north Queensland is for two very, very good reasons. So the first one was for cyclones, and the second one is for yield of the actual fruit.
Charlie's Chocolate Factory offers a rare insight into cocoa production. And owners Chris and Lynn Janke are only too happy to share lots of interesting bits and pieces about the production process.
As a rule of thumb, you need 100 flowers to make one cocoa pod pollinated, and the rule of thumb with a cocoa pod is one cocoa pod equals one chocolate bar.
How important and how unique is this plantation here?
Very unique, because as far as we know, apart from, there could be a couple of places in Hawaii, this is the only place that you can see the cocoa on the pod, on the tree, being chocolate made in the same place, because most people grow it and ship it.
An amazing experience and chance for your visitors to see how this all works.
And they get to taste it, which they like, but only if they're good.
Oh, is that bribery? Behave on my tours. Fortunately, even if a little surprisingly, we were well enough behaved to enjoy a taste test. Do I have to pass it down?
Yes, you do.
Damn it. After which, it's back on the bus en route to our next destination, Cairns. The Divine Shangri-La Hotel is our base for the next 4 days, during which time the group will enjoy trips to Port Douglas, Mosman Gorge and Kuranda, just to name a handful.
Thank you.
But as the saying goes, it's as much about the journey as it is the destination. And the destination is definitely only one element of any Fun Over 50 tour. The other, and quite possibly the one that rates highest, is the people you get to enjoy it with.
As a family, we've probably had the greatest time ever. Look, it's for the four of us, it's been an absolute enjoyment.
Creating memories that will last a lifetime.
Yeah, they will. Oh, this trip will, yeah.
The team at Fun Over 50 meticulously plan their itineraries to ensure every passenger has the best possible time. The Fun Over 50 website has all the information you need regarding tours for 2017. If my group is any indication, you're almost guaranteed a fabulous time on tour.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
It's a side of Noosa not many people get a chance to see. To get there, you need a bit of paddle power. Join me, we'll go on the water after the break. Here's a really cool fact that may surprise you. There are only 2 Everglades systems in the whole world. You'll find one in Florida and the other here in Noosa. So no further reason required to grab a paddle and start exploring. Alander Point on the shores of Lake Catharaba is the launch pad for a guided tour with Canoe Capers, a kayaking company offering water-based adventures in the Noosa region.
So you can see the Alander Point canoe launch.
Vivian Golding is our guide and she's got the morning all mapped out.
So you can see Fig Tree Point, you paddle across Fig Tree Lake to Fig Tree Point. That's a lovely spot to stop and picnic.
Today's journey is a half-day tour which takes in this wildlife-rich system of lakes, waterways and coastal forests.
The thing about our Everglades is that, you know, over 65% of our Everglades is in National Park, which actually includes the catchment of the Upper Noosa River. So very, very blessed in that way. The Florida Everglades, only 20% is in actually National Park.
There's local history to discover also as we cross Lake Catharaba, like the small timber town of Mill Point that ceased to exist once its mill closed in 1892. Incredible to think we're in such a pristine spot and that was a town.
See just here, this is the remnants, it's the last stump, the remnants of the jetty.
So we would have stopped in here, gone up to town, had a cuppa. To cross the lake takes about 45 minutes and brings us to our first stop. Vivian, it's almost strange in this vast waterway to come across this building.
Yeah, well this is the Kinniber Information Centre. It was built in the 70s. It was funded by birdwatchers but built by National Parks.
Does it go under?
Oh yeah, underwater, yeah it does. Up in that, the water goes right up onto that top level up there when it floods.
From here, we begin our journey through the Everglades' most beautiful section.
Wow, check out the pelicans over there.
This is such a different side of the waterway, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. So this is the Fig Tree Lake area and it's what we call the heart of the Noosa Everglades.
I'm surprised by the bird life. I mean, there's flocks of pelicans, but there's so much here.
Yeah. Over 44% of Australia's bird life visit or live in the Noosa Everglades.
That is extraordinary. It's hard to believe we're just a few kilometres from the hustle and bustle of Hastings Street in Noosa. All this natural wonder has come as a surprise to local Linda Ward. So do you think a lot of the locals miss out? They don't realise it's here?
Of course we do, yeah. We really need to get out here and have a look at the beauty that's around us.
Soon we arrive at the popular campground Fig Tree Point, which is where Vivian is putting on lunch, and where I can learn a bit more about her love of paddling. It began with kayaking in high school before she took it to another level with whitewater slalom kayaking.
Well, I spent 10 years. I've competed in 4 World Championships. I wasn't in there quite long enough to go to the Olympics. I probably could have gone if I kept paddling. I think the top place I got was number 5, 5th in the world, so...
Wow.
Yeah. In those days, yeah, you were a self-funded athlete, yeah. So it was a bit tough going.
Vivian then led tours down the Tully River Rapids in North Queensland before settling for calmer waters in the Everglades. I've been watching your face. You love doing this, don't you?
Oh, look, I really do. You know, that's the one thing about being in tourism. It was the same in rafting. People get off the river and people come back here and they say to me it's one of the best days they've ever had in their lives.
If you'd like to experience a day on the water you'll never forget, then get in touch with Vivian. There you can also learn about her multi-day self-guided kayaking adventures, which venture deeper into the national park.
Why not round up a few friends and head to the Sunshine Coast hinterland to enjoy the Kenilworth Cheese, Wine and Food Fest? The annual event will be held this year on Saturday the 15th of April and offers free entry. Held in the Kenilworth Town Park, it'll showcase Mary Valley's finest foods, liqueurs and wines, with wine and cheese tastings all day. It's a great reason to jump in the car for a country drive.
The Story Bridge offers some pretty good sunsets from way up there. You just have to scale 22 stories to get there. And we'll do that after the break. Now, anywhere in the world you can walk across the bridge, but if you actually want to climb over the top, there's only 3 places in the world offering that experience, and our city's icon happens to be one of them.
Sydney, Brisbane and Auckland are the 3 cities I'm talking about. The Sydney Harbour Bridge climb was a world first in 1998, followed by the Story Bridge just 2 years later. Over 20,000 people get suited up for this experience each year. Some have even used the climb to conquer their fear of heights, and I'm hoping that'll be me. Once our safety harness is clipped onto the main line, we're ready to ascend.
I know I'm not supposed to be scared yet, but I'm already feeling it.
The suspended walkway takes us to the southern end of the bridge to tackle the steepest part of the climb.
These stairs are a lot more flimsy than you want. I mean, I'm not knocking the bloke who built it, I'm sure it's strong. It just seems weak. It's pretty cool. Still got a fair way to go.
The bridge was designed by Queensland engineer John Bradfield. The steel peaks were modelled to resemble a mountain range and thankfully are a sturdy viewing platform.
Wow, pretty stunning. People keep telling you don't look down, but that's the only place I want to look down is safe. Down's where I want to be right now. It's nice, but it's really high.
But I have to remember I'm in good hands with Sandy, our climb leader.
Generally during the climb you give us a lot of information, but for those obviously watching at home, how old's the bridge?
The bridge actually turned 76 a couple of months ago. They actually started construction back in 1935 during the Great Depression. So this bridge wasn't actually built to get to the other side, it was built to boost employment rates during the Great Depression.
They employed between 400 and 500 people, and divers were assigned the task of constructing the foundation, digging down more than 40 metres into the bedrock of the river. Around 65 divers suffered the bends during the 5-year project, and I reckon the blokes working up top also had a tough gig.
I've seen some classic old photos of the guys building the bridge where they're sitting out on those struts in the middle having their lunch break.
Oh yeah.
And looking out as we walk past it, the idea of being out there was so appalling to me.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't be doing that myself.
No, but have you gotten fairly used to the heights doing this all the time?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think you must just have to get used to it really when you're working up here. But
and what about the view? Are you used to the view or you still love it?
No, I love it. Every day. It's always different sunset, different clouds, different people.
After a lengthy pause to catch our breath, we head down the arm and across to the other side. A nice way to take in the views on either side. Story Bridge adventure climbs are offered each day at various times. RACQ have a summer special running for members who book before the 31st of March to receive 25% off all climb options. My sunset scale has been a real eye-opener, and I reckon I've overcome my fear. We've made it up to the viewing platform just in time.
It's a bit of work to get here, but 1,138 steps is worth it for that view.
From one of our city's much-loved landmarks to another, Brisbane's Gallery of Modern Art has been a part of the River City for 10 years. And to celebrate, they're putting on quite a birthday party. The Sugar Spin exhibition features incredible artworks exploring light, space and the senses. There's only a few weeks left to visit the exhibition, so make sure you head down to Goma to join in on the celebrations.
The Aussie mainland is 70 k's that way, and I'm spending the night on the Great Barrier Reef. It has to be possibly the best sleepover ever. Catch you after the break. Reef World is an amazing man-made island floating off Hardy Reef, 40 nautical miles from the port of Airlie. Cruise with Sundays brings boatloads of eager snorkelers and scuba divers here from the mainland most days. How do you top a day out on the reef? By having the option to stay over too. By day, this pontoon can take up to 300 people, but by night, only a select few can stay over, and I am one of the lucky ones. It has to be a once-in-a-lifetime sleepover experience, but there's plenty of sunlight hours still to soak up before nightfall. And with one of the most spectacular stretches of the Great Barrier Reef right under my nose, who better to get the lay of the land from than Brett, the on-board dive instructor? So talk me through what we might see, or what I might see when I go for a snorkel.
Well, when we go out there, plenty to see. I mean, the corals are all out there. We're going to see beautiful staghorn corals and soft corals, hard corals. And if we're lucky, we'll get to see one of the big Maori wrasse out there.
If we're lucky?
Well, he likes to hang around.
Can anybody just come along and do this sort of thing?
Anybody. Some people are scared of water. In fact, every day probably half of our boat's full of non-swimmers. So life jackets, pool noodles, away we go.
The floating guide ropes set out across a big stretch of the reef are fantastic if you want to explore on your own. Or you can pay a little extra for a guided snorkel. Scuba dives are also an option.
We've got plenty of locals just hanging out in front of the pontoon here. Maybe 500 different types of fish, from big, small.
Gosh, what are people's reactions?
You get squeals of delight every time, every day.
Day trippers who aren't keen on getting wet can take a ride on the semi-submersible, or enjoy the view from the underwater observatory. Some choose to simply stretch out on the deck. Those who come for the day have until 3 o'clock before it's time to head back to the mainland. But what if you're not heading home? Well, this is the part I've been waiting for all day, waving off all the other guests. Reef World offers the reef sleep experience to a maximum of 9 guests. Plenty of room to spread out. It's a great opportunity for a solo snorkel. Amazing. You know, I've been lucky enough to visit the reef over the last 30 years, and it never fails with its beauty. Of course, there's all the favourites. I couldn't have missed Nemo. The giant clams are just stupendous. And my favourite seems to be their pet Maori wrasse that just hangs around here and is overly friendly, which is a good thing. Back on deck with my fellow reef sleepers in time to enjoy a sundowner. Nat and Leon are here to celebrate a very special milestone. 20 years ago you were here for your honeymoon and it was good enough you thought you'd come back?
Yeah. No, it's a spectacular part of the world.
Well, it's your 20th anniversary, you probably won't sleep. Can you say things like that on television?
After 20 years, I think, yes, we will.
I'll drink to that.
To the next 20. If you'd like to share the reef sleep experience with someone special, get in touch with Cruise with Sundays. All activities and meals are included over the 2 days on the reef and 1 night under the stars. Well, I never expected to sleep in a swag way out at sea, but oh my goodness, I am looking forward to bed. Good night. For more great ideas, take a look at our website. You can keep up with our travels on Facebook and Instagram. 3 other great websites are queensland.com, RACQ and the Queensland Rail Travel websites. My favourite part of reef sleep is waking up with the glorious sunrise and then getting all your gear on and coming down here. I'm going to hop in and snorkel and it's going to be like I've got the reef all to myself. That's all we've got time for this week. Make sure you tune in next week for more Queensland Weekender. We'll see you then. Bye.